Okay people, so today I'm going to go about putting my lawnmower back together, and also I disconnected all my electric start system on here because the diode on the what's it doodle in here, the the stator, you know, piece which actually charges the battery, runs off the same magnet which is for the ignition coil. That is dead, so I know it popped, so it got, I don't know if it got stuck or whatever and it popped it. So it's basically, the diode is like a one-way valve kind of thing. I could just hook one onto here, but I'm going to do it the way the tecumseh intended it, and I'm taking it apart and replace it. It's going to stick an old diode on there, just one which fits. Well, the biggest one that will fit, then that way hopefully it should be rated half decent. I'm going to have to reconnect all the switch up, but I'll do that in a separate video. I'm going to show you disconnecting, well, I'm showing you actually repairing the coil today, so I need some spanners, and I'm going to be doing this fast forward stuff because I'm putting some music on, and I'm going to have to mute it. Just because I cannot work without music. I apologise, but I can't. So, you're about to see this thing stripped down to the point I can get that coil off, and once I've got, I won't bother going through the steps of getting the coil off because it's pretty self-explanatory. So. Okay, so here is the little stator. Basically, magnet passes past this piece of steel or iron. I'm guessing it's steel. Well, I don't think. Yeah, it's definitely steel. And that generates the electrical current through the copper windings. And it's got a 22 microfarad 100 volt cap, which would be this little doohickey. And that big black spot is where the diode should be. So, I do have, there's no remains of the old diode, so I don't know what it should have, but it should connect here to this. So, it's going to be a case of popping that off, just basically connecting up a new one in between that terminal here on the cap and here. To be honest, it's not that much of a major job, so I could do that off camera. I'll have to use a little bit of electrical wire just to extend it. I might even be able to use the stuff which is actually there already. So yeah, I'll do that. It might not be as compact as what it was before, but as long as I can get it in there without it shorting or anything, it should be set to go. All I have to do is make sure that it's going in the right direction, because of course it's like a one-way valve. If it ain't in there the right way around, you connect power to it, and it's just going to pop again. Well, actually no, it won't pop. It'll just cook your windings, and then when you do want it to, when the engine's running, it won't produce power. And when the battery's connected, it'll just cook this. Basically, that copper wire will end up turning into a heating element, and it'll just cook your windings, and then you have to go and buy a new one. So that ain't good. Well, actually, to be honest, that's not very. There's probably only a couple of about 20 or so meters, if that. Actually, no, I'll say there's about 2 meters worth of copper wire. If you can get 2 meters of copper wire, which has got the the glaze. I forgot what it's called. It's like a I forgot what they put on it. The ceramic kind of stuff. It's not ceramic. the gloss kind of liquid stuff. Oh no, whatever they put on the copper to stop it from conducting to the other wires. It's basically like putting a very, very thin coat of plastic on it, but it's not plastic. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and solder all that new bit in, then I'll put it back together. And I have to do another video to show you actually sorting out the starting system. That should be interesting, although it's actually relatively easy. So, yep, see you guys later. Okay, so this is as far as I've got today. Didn't bother doing a video of the starter motor, but I have just regularly rebuilt it. I haven't really replaced it. I haven't replaced anything. Everything's just been stripped and cleaned and got all the gunk and that in, out of it and off of it. So the frame's clean, the outer casing's clean, the plastic bottom housing's clean. Well, the outside of it isn't actually, but it's fine. Doesn't really need to worry. You can't see it. So all the bearings were dry and had congealed oil, greasy stuff on it, which was gross. So took it all apart, gave it a very, very light rub down with some oil. Basically just put some oil on the shaft and then rubbed it down with a rag. If you leave oil on there, dust and things from while you're using it will get onto there and will cause it to seize. Also, even if dust and things wouldn't get to it, you're putting oil onto the surface which will eventually congeal. So I just put a very, very, very small amount on there. So there's not as much to congeal. That makes sense. But oh well. I've got this We've got the stator thing back on, but unfortunately, you might have seen earlier in the video I was looking around for a something, and it was that cover. I can't find it anywhere. It's just disappeared. It went down there somewhere. I've had everything out from there, and I cannot find it. I think it could be under the compressor. I didn't pull it out because I can't be bothered, but I did get down on my knees almost and have a look. But bollocks am I getting down on my hands and knees on that fucking cold floor. Anyway, I haven't got the carb on it at the moment for two reasons. One, I'm not sure where the nuts and bolts are at the moment. I know I have them, I just don't know where they are. But there's the manifold, the throttle malarkey. Oh, there's a linkage for it. Yeah, shroud. Usually, if I'm using a lawnmower or repairing a lawnmower for my own use, I would actually put this in the electrolysis tank and paint it. But to be honest, two things for this. One, I used to do that because lawnmower engine was the only thing I really had to tinker around with, so I took a lot of pride in them. And to be honest, if it's my own lawnmower, I'm going to take care of it, so making it look good is also part of it. As you can see, it's got primer on here, where I kind of decided to paint it and then ran out of primer, so it's fine now. Can't be bothered to finish painting it. It's a fucking lawnmower, so the thing's just a beater. If it cuts the grass, it's fine. The only thing I might do to it is take off this old decrepit roller off the back. The shaft, I'll see if I can get some wheels that are around about the right diameter. Let's weld a washer onto one side, onto one bit, onto the shaft. Slide the wheels on, put the shaft in with a spacer, maybe a piece of copper tube, then bolt it all back up. So I'll have two wheels on the back. They'll have to be the same diameter as this, but a little bit wider. So they'll probably be about the same size as these lawnmower wheels here on the front. These actually have... What the hell? Did I just hear it? I think I just did. Oh, for fuck's sake. It was jammed under there. That's what I was looking for. Fucking hell. I'll put it back on later. I mean, I have to unbolt it all. Can't be bothered. Unbolt it all, so I can't bother at the moment. So yeah, that's been done. I'm not going to bother painting it. I mean, it's been left out in snow, the rain, everything, so the only time it's been dry is recently when it stopped raining. At the moment it's just sitting in here until I get around to putting it back together. Once it's all done, it will go back outside. The carb I'm not going to be rebuilding, just because, to be honest, it's not in bad nick, but I am going to go over it with a can of carb cleaner, just take the whole thing apart, clean it out, put it all back together, and that should be no problem at all. First, I'm not really one of these people who disconnects a spark plug lead before working on a lawnmower engine. Just to be honest, it doesn't matter. These engines, no matter how slowly you turn one of these engines over, you're not going to get a spark. Unless it was an electronic, like an actual, had a battery, ignition coil, points and condenser, ignition and all of that. If it had that, then of course the obvious thing you'd do is probably disconnect your battery and then you'd be safe. But with one of these, I just don't see the point of needing to do it. So yeah, I mean, everyone's done it, well, at least I have. Trying to see how slowly you can pull an engine over before it will start. I think maybe there's only one engine you could probably do this with, which you might have to do with. Honda engines, because my little Honda down there, we've got several Hondas at work, and that little Honda there, you only need best part of about 6 inch. I've been able to pull it in about under 6 inches, just a little jerk, and it's managed to start it. So the one that we got a Honda lawnmower at work, and it's brilliant for that. Got a decomp valve on it and everything. I love it. It's one of those overhead cam jobbies with the cam belt. I hope they designed them that it's impossible for the camshaft to move the valves enough to hit the piston. Because if the camshaft breaks, of course you bend valves. But I'm hoping Honda have been clever enough to design it. With a lawnmower, you're not going to do a bloody cam belt change every 60,000 miles or so. Or is it? I think it's like 80,000 actually. No, I think it's about 60. Yeah, it's around about there. But my car's just had a cam belt anyway, so that's good. Also, yeah, I need to put this side back together. A little bit at the moment. I'm keeping this in because if you don't have that in when you do that, it pisses all of its oil out. That's why it's all wet around there. You can see. I do need to top my oil up though. It is fairly low. Oh well, that's it for now, people.